Did you know that Amanda Holden's rise to fame wasn't as glamorous as it seems? Behind the glamorous smile and TV stardom, there's a side of her story that Britain's Got Talent never shared. While millions of fans see her as the poised judge on BGT, Amanda's journey in the entertainment world is filled with surprising twists and challenges. But what exactly did Britain's Got Talent leave out? And why have some of the most pivotal moments of her career stayed hidden in the shadows? From her personal struggles to her unexpected career choices, this video dives deep into the parts of Amanda Holden's life that you've never seen before. And trust me, you'll be shocked by what she's had to overcome to get where she is today. Long before Amanda Holden became a household name as one of the most recognizable faces on Britain's Got Talent, she was already carving out a complicated, colorful career in British entertainment. Many viewers assume Amanda shot to fame the moment she took her seat next to Simon Cowell on that now iconic judging panel. But the reality is she had already spent years building her reputation, on stage, on screen, and in the sometimes brutal trenches of showbiz. Born in Hampshire and raised with a love for performance, Amanda trained at the Mountview Academy of Theatre Arts in London, a prestigious school for actors that helped lay the groundwork for her future success. But her early career wasn't all glitz and glamour. Her first national TV appearance came on the dating game show Blind Date in 1991. Yes, before she was a West End star or a national treasure, Amanda Holden was just another hopeful contestant looking for love on reality television. But Amanda had her eyes on much bigger prizes. In the 90s and early 2000s, she took on various small roles in British television, gradually earning recognition for her performances in series like Kiss Me Kate, Hearts and Bones, and Cutting It. She proved herself as more than just a pretty face. She had real acting chops and charisma that could carry a screen. Around this time, she also began appearing in stage productions, including West End musicals where she wowed audiences with her vocal and dramatic range. Yet her growing success didn't come without tabloid attention. Amanda's highly publicized affair with actor Neil Morrissey, which occurred during her marriage to comedian Les Dennis, led to a media storm that threatened to derail her entire career. But even in the face of public criticism and moral outrage, Amanda didn't fade away. She fought to keep working, and that resilience would later become one of her defining qualities. Her ability to survive scandal, push through professional setbacks, and keep her name relevant in a notoriously fickle industry is a big part of why Amanda was considered such a bold, but ultimately brilliant choice for Britain's Got Talent. When the show launched in 2007, she wasn't just there for decoration. She brought years of industry experience, a flair for drama, and a real understanding of what it means to perform under pressure. The producers didn't just pick a pretty celebrity. They picked someone who had lived the highs and lows of fame. What they didn't say out loud? Amanda Holden had already earned her stripes. BGT was just the next chapter in a much longer story. As Amanda Holden's career continued to evolve, her role on Britain's Got Talent would eventually catapult her into a new stratosphere of fame, one that would challenge everything she thought she knew about the entertainment industry. But as the years went on, Amanda found herself faced with unexpected challenges and decisions that could have jeopardized her entire legacy. Just when it seemed like she had reached the pinnacle of success, a surprising turn of events would shake the very foundations of her career, leaving many wondering how she managed to navigate it all. Stay tuned, because the real story of Amanda Holden is far from over. In the next chapter, we'll reveal how a shocking moment in her personal life became the catalyst for one of the most controversial decisions of her career, and how she turned a potential disaster into yet another triumph. What happened behind the scenes that made her rethink everything she had worked for? The answer might surprise you. Amanda Holden's rise to the Britain's Got Talent judging panel wasn't some fairy tale overnight casting. Contrary to popular belief, she didn't just stumble into the opportunity. She was part of a carefully calculated selection process that took months of behind-the-scenes meetings, screen tests, and internal debates. In 2007, when Simon Cowell and ITV were conceptualizing the British version of America's Got Talent, they wanted to replicate that explosive chemistry that made shows like American Idol such massive hits. But more importantly, they needed judges who were both entertaining and credible, people who understood performance, had enough name recognition to attract media attention, but who also wouldn't outshine the real star of the show. Amanda Holden wasn't the obvious pick, and at first she wasn't even on the shortlist. But as the executives sifted through candidates, Simon Cowell reportedly pushed her name forward, saying she had something undeniable, a magnetic mix of vulnerability, beauty, and showbiz grit. She auditioned for the panel just like anyone else. People often assume TV judges are just offered contracts on a silver platter, but Amanda had to prove herself. ITV executives were skeptical at first. She was known, sure, but mostly for acting roles in tabloid drama. Was she strong enough to sit beside Cowell and not get overshadowed? Could she offer real critiques without sounding patronizing or out of touch? The producers put her through chemistry reads with other judges, including Piers Morgan, and even brought in test contestants to see how she'd interact with real people. What they discovered was surprising. Amanda wasn't just good, she was warm, funny, quick on her feet, and, most importantly, she got it. She knew how to balance critique with compassion. She didn't talk over contestants or dominate the room, but when she did speak, people listened. There was a natural empathy in her delivery, especially with underdog acts or emotional performances. Her authenticity, combined with her polish, became her secret weapon. When Amanda was officially announced as one of the original judges, many in the media questioned the choice. Some called her a placeholder. Others predicted she wouldn't last a full season. But the showrunners knew something the public didn't. Amanda Holden was the emotional core the series needed. And as it turned out, she quickly proved herself not only a worthy addition to the panel, but a standout. Her journey to that seat wasn't just about looks or celebrity. It was about resilience, timing, and the ability to win people over again and again. What BGT didn't say out loud, Amanda earned her spot the hard way and never gave it up. As Amanda Holden settled into her role as a judge on Britain's Got Talent, the true test was just beginning. The pressure mounted with every season as she navigated the fine line between harsh critique and heartfelt praise. But just as Amanda seemed to have found her rhythm, something unexpected happened. A challenge that would test her in ways no one could have predicted. Despite the accolades and glowing reviews, there were whispers behind the scenes that Amanda was struggling to maintain the balance between her personal life and the demands of her high-profile career. Was her position on the judging panel truly secure, or was the mounting stress about to break her? While the public saw Amanda Holden as the picture of poise and elegance each week on Britain's Got Talent, few knew that behind her dazzling smile and designer dresses, she was often carrying a weight far heavier than any judge's decision. The BGT stage became her runway, but it also became her armor, a place where she could perform, distract, and sparkle her way through private heartbreak that the cameras never showed. Amanda's life during her time on BGT was marked not just by career highs, but by profound personal loss and emotional trauma. In 2011, she suffered one of the most devastating blows imaginable, the stillbirth of her son, Theo, at 7 months. It was a tragedy that nearly broke her, and one that she has only rarely spoken about in public. But what most people don't realize is that Amanda returned to work on Britain's Got Talent not long after the loss, putting on a brave face and continuing to deliver emotional, heartfelt critiques while quietly navigating unimaginable grief. This wasn't the first time Amanda had faced emotional upheaval in the public eye. Years before, she had endured the breakdown of her marriage to Les Dennis and the media circus that followed her affair with Neil Morrissey. The tabloids tore her apart. She was painted as a villain, a heartbreaker, and for a time her career seemed at risk. But Amanda didn't crumble, and when BGT came into her life, it became both a redemption arc and a lifeline. Behind the scenes, those who worked closely with Amanda during the toughest moments have said she was incredibly strong, but not without vulnerability. She would often spend time comforting nervous contestants, chatting with parents backstage, and even helping producers smooth over tense moments, all while juggling her own internal battles. What Britain saw was the glamour, the floor-length gowns, the witty banter, the glowing judge's seat. But what they didn't see was the woman fighting through grief, anxiety, and exhaustion to show up and support others' dreams. As Amanda Holden's strength and resilience became more evident, viewers began to wonder how much of her personal story was hidden behind the glossy exterior of fame. Could there be even more to her journey that she hadn't shared yet? And as the years went on, her private battles continued to unfold, with new challenges emerging just as she was coming into her own as a public figure. What could possibly happen next in Amanda's life that would test her in ways the public hadn't yet seen? How did she keep her personal grief and professional life so tightly interwoven? And what toll did that take on her? But beyond the pain and the public eye, there was an even deeper question that many never thought to ask. Was Amanda truly able to heal, or was she simply hiding behind a mask? And when the curtains closed on her time as a judge, what happened to the woman who had been the epitome of grace and strength for so many years? Would she ever fully be able to reconcile her past with her present? Or would the shadows of her personal tragedies continue to follow her, no matter how brightly she shone? The real story behind Amanda Holden's life might be far more complex and far more heartbreaking than anyone realized. If there's one thing Amanda Holden knows how to do, it's make headlines without saying a word, just by showing up. Her bold, boundary-pushing fashion choices on Britain's Got Talent have sparked admiration, outrage, and waves of formal complaints to Ofcom, the UK's media watchdog. And while the mainstream coverage has often reduced it to scandalous necklines or too much skin for primetime, the reality behind Amanda's fashion statements is far more calculated and far more revealing than most viewers realize. Over the years, Amanda has repeatedly been at the center of wardrobe controversies that made more noise than the acts performing on stage. Plunging gowns, sheer panels, high slits, you name it, Amanda's worn it, and often with a smile that says, "I dare you to say something." And people did, in droves. There was one particular dress in 2017, a sheer navy number with a daring front cutout that triggered over 600 Ofcom complaints in a single night. The headlines were relentless. Amanda's outfit sparks uproar. Too sexy for family TV? As if what she wore said more about her than her 30-year career. But what those stories often leave out is that Amanda wasn't simply being provocative, she was making a statement. In an industry that regularly tries to box women into being age-appropriate or fade them into the background after 40, Amanda Holden doubled down on glamour, sensuality, and style. She challenged the idea that a woman can't be both mature and magnetic, both a mother and a bombshell. Every dress was a rebuttal to the subtle ageism and sexism that still lingers in mainstream television. And behind the scenes, the tension was real. Producers reportedly urged her to tone it down some years. There were quiet suggestions to opt for something safer or less revealing, especially during the live finals when the spotlight and scrutiny was at its peak. But Amanda, true to form, didn't back down. What Britain's Got Talent didn't publicize was how fiercely Amanda fought for her right to wear what she wanted. She refused to be shamed or silenced by the tabloid echo chamber. Instead, she turned the controversy into part of her brand. A fashion-forward, unapologetic judge who knew exactly what she was doing. And the irony, the very people who criticized her for being inappropriate kept watching, kept complaining, and kept her name in the headlines. Amanda's wardrobe wasn't just clothing, it was strategy. It was rebellion. And it was proof that even in the glittering world of talent shows, women still have to fight for the right to dress on their own terms. And Amanda Holden? She's still winning that fight. When the cameras roll on Britain's Got Talent, Amanda Holden shines in her judge's seat. Witty, warm, glamorous, and ready with a perfectly timed reaction shot. But what audiences don't see is that Amanda's influence goes far beyond what's shown in the final edit. Behind the scenes, she's a vital presence on the BGT set. Part mentor, part morale booster, part unofficial producer. While most viewers associate her with killer fashion and emotional critiques, those who work on the show know Amanda as the glue that quietly holds the backstage energy together. From day one, she established herself not just as a judge, but as a leader, and not the loud, domineering kind, but the one who listens, observes, and offers support where it's needed most. Her relationships with contestants, crew, and even other judges are built on years of trust, empathy, and experience. Something that never makes it into the 90-minute broadcast but is felt by everyone on set. Amanda has always had a soft spot for the underdogs. You won't see it on the live show, but she often goes out of her way to speak to nervous contestants in the corridors backstage, especially kids and older performers. She understands what it's like to be vulnerable in front of an audience, and she never forgets that BGT is, at its core, about people, not just performances. There have been countless moments where she's comforted someone in tears, cheered on a last-minute rehearsal, or stepped in to reassure a terrified first-time performer. These are the moments that don't trend on Twitter, but build a deep sense of trust between her and the talent. She's also fiercely protective of the crew. Camera operators, stylists, makeup artists, stagehands. To Amanda, everyone on that set matters, not just the faces on screen. She's known for remembering birthdays, checking in on people going through hard times, and bringing a bit of levity when the production days get long and stressful. More than once, she's diffused tensions during live show prep with a sharp joke or a cheeky wink that reminds everyone, it's just telly, have fun with it. Even Simon Cowell has commented on Amanda's ability to read the room and calm things down when things get chaotic. What BGT never advertises is how crucial Amanda is to its emotional engine. Yes, she's a judge, but she's also the show's heartbeat. She bridges the gap between contestants and cameras, between glitz and reality. She's not just in the show, she's part of what makes it work. And without her, the backstage wouldn't run half as smoothly as it does. Amanda Holden has long been one of the British tabloids' favorite obsessions. A media magnet whose every move, outfit, facial expression, and Instagram post seems to ignite a headline. But what most people don't realize is just how relentless and calculated this tabloid scrutiny has been. For over 2 decades, Amanda has been under a microscope, with coverage often focused less on her talent and more on her appearance, personal life, and supposed scandals. Long before Britain's Got Talent, she was the target of sensationalist coverage surrounding her affair with Neil Morrissey during her marriage to Les Dennis. The press didn't just report the story, they weaponized it. Amanda became a poster girl for tabloid shame, portrayed as a seductress who ruined her own marriage. And though that narrative might have destroyed another woman's career, Amanda refused to let the media define her. Instead, she leaned in, took back control of her own story, and slowly reshaped her public image with grace, humor, and authenticity. Once she joined BGT, the media circus didn't slow down. It simply shifted gears. Now the focus turned to her fashion, her age, her face. Rumors about plastic surgery became weekly features. Headlines screamed, "Too much Botox?" or "Amanda's ageless glow, natural or not," as if any sign of aging or beauty enhancement was breaking news. Her outfits during the live shows sparked regular outrage, many tabloids seemingly waiting to pounce on her hemlines or necklines. Ofcom complaints became a bizarre annual tradition, with stories suggesting Amanda was trying to shock the public. The irony, of course, is that Amanda's style has always reflected confidence, not controversy. But the media spun it otherwise, painting her as a provocateur when in reality she was simply refusing to shrink herself to fit anyone's expectations. Behind the headlines were also persistent rumors. Feuds with judges, mostly fabricated, diva behavior, largely exaggerated, and supposed walk-offs or meltdowns that never happened. Amanda herself has often said she reads the gossip with amusement, fully aware that much of it is designed to drive clicks, not tell the truth. Yet she also recognizes the double standard. Her male colleagues aren't scrutinized in the same way. Simon Cowell can wear the same t-shirt for a decade without comment. Amanda wears a low-cut dress, and it's national news. What BGT doesn't tell you, and what the tabloids rarely admit, is that Amanda has mastered the art of outlasting criticism. She's learned to navigate the press like a pro, using humor, confidence, and a healthy dose of don't-give-a-damn attitude. She's not just a judge, she's a survivor of the UK's most brutal press machine. And she's still standing, still shining, still impossible to ignore. On the surface, Amanda Holden is the cheeky, glamorous judge known for her sparkle, sass, and show-stopping outfits on Britain's Got Talent. But behind that polished persona is a woman making strategic, powerful moves in an industry where influence is typically hoarded by a select few. What BGT doesn't advertise is just how much Amanda has transformed herself from reality TV star into one of British television's most bankable and quietly powerful figures. She's not just playing the game anymore, she's helping shape it. From voiceover work to stage roles, talent shows to radio presenting, Amanda has built a brand that spans generations and platforms.